Hi Minecraft fans! Today we've got a brand new set, and yes, it comes in a very familiar box. We already had a set in the same box featured in a previous review. A link to that video will pop up right here, and inside that box I keep the minifigures we've already built. Here are a few shots from that video. Take a look if you haven't seen it yet. But before I start unboxing, let's quickly see what we're getting today in this new set. I'll only show part of it for now. There are 33 minifigures in total in this set. That's a lot, so make sure to watch all the way to the end. Alright, let's pull our big bag out of the box. I'll also be comparing the new figures with the ones from the previous set, because surprisingly, some things are actually different. The manufacturer has clearly changed something. Maybe they switched parts suppliers, because in some cases the differences are very noticeable. As I already said, there are 33 figures here, and the question is, how do we even unbox all of them? I guess we'll do it the same way as in the last video. I'll unbox and build them one by one. Let's start with the first one. A mini pig. You can instantly tell what it is, and the piece count is absolutely tiny. We actually had a pig in the first set too, so let's compare them. Here it is. This one is clearly a piglet, while the previous set had a full-sized pig. Right away, I can say the plastic feels really nice. I don't even know how to explain it, but the first impression is that the plastic just feels better overall. We'll be able to judge this even more clearly later, once we start assembling figures with movable parts. And here you can see me putting together what I believe is the Beekeeper character skin. The plastic quality really stands out. It feels smooth and pleasant. Unfortunately though, the print is only on one side. I always count that as a big downside. Sadly, the entire collection, including the previous set, only has printing on the front. Moving on, let's take a look at the turtle. Oh, and by the way, I completely forgot to mention something important. This set has a huge, gigantic downside. There is no instruction manual included for assembling the figures. Yes, when it's a simple minifigure, there are basically no questions at all. But when I got to the turtle, I suddenly hit a mental block and had no idea how to assemble it. I had to look at pictures and search for instructions online. Overall, it was very unpleasant. But as far as I can tell, I assembled it correctly. And this is the turtle we ended up with. Official Lego actually has very similar figures. Just from photos, it's almost impossible to tell them apart. But in reality, they are different from these Chinese ones. They're made from different parts and are assembled in a completely different way. Alright, let's keep going. Next up we have this type of figure, a pirate. I'm pretty sure we had the same style of minifigures in the previous set as well, so let's compare them. Once again, the print is only on one side, on the front, with nothing on the back. That's still a downside. That said, the plastic quality here is top tier. Truly excellent. So who do we have next? Oh, this is a creeper, but a purple enchanted one. And it has a transparent head. We had the classic green creeper in the previous set. The color is a nice, rich purple, and I really like the plastic. This one definitely gets my approval. And once again, we have a mob that looks similar to the previous pirate and to the villager. This one is a trader. Once again, we can see that the print is only on one side. Nothing particularly interesting here. Alright, let's move on quickly. I really want to get to the more complex minifigures and builds. This is where things start getting more interesting. As far as I can tell, this is an Ocelot skin. A figure like this appeared in the Lego set The Modern Treehouse. And this minifigure apparently comes with a fishing rod. It's easy to assemble even without instructions. Here again, as always, the print is only on one side. I did have to focus a bit to place some of the pieces correctly, but honestly, that's not a bad thing. Moving on to the next figure. Here we clearly have a blue, ultra-fast horse. I had to struggle a bit to figure out how to assemble it without instructions. Hopefully you won't run into the same issue and your set will actually include them. But even if it doesn't, I think you'll manage just fine. Just look at this magnificent head. I absolutely love the design. It feels well thought out. All the parts are nicely made and the plastic quality is excellent. The minifigure that comes with the horse is Alex. As usual, the print is only on one side, and he comes with a helmet. This immediately reminds me of a major downside from the first set, aside from the paint issues and slightly cheap plastic. The helmets fit terribly. They barely stayed on and fell off all the time. So let's check how the helmet fits on this new figure. You actually need to apply some force to put it on, and to take it off. That's a very clear sign that the manufacturer has fully worked on improving the set and fixing its flaws. I don't really like how the character sits on the horse here, basically straight on its back. When I was a kid, I had Lego knight sets, and they had proper saddles where you placed the figure, and it really looked like the character was riding the horse. I loved that. You can also rear the horse up on its hind legs. It looks quite nice and definitely playable. Moving on, and next up we have a really cool antagonist, the red skeleton on a horse. It's assembled a bit differently, but after I built the first horse, assembling the second one was noticeably easier. The construction of the back legs is exactly the same as on the previous horse. I also remember that the first set had some paint issues, smudged prints and visible blobs in places. Now, half a year later with this new set, it's very clear that the manufacturer has put real effort into improving the printing. Everything looks much cleaner and more precise. I suspect they simply switched plastic suppliers and maybe even upgraded the printing equipment. But that's just my guess. This one is put together slightly differently. As you can see, it has a devilish tail and an unusual head and neck construction. It looks very epic. Let's keep building. Here we have a simple skeleton figure. We've seen these many times, both in official Lego and in unofficial sets. This skeleton is also supposed to hold a bow. I got curious and decided to compare the bows from this set with the ones from the previous one, and I discovered that they sometimes differ slightly. Overall, nothing special, although I might actually like this pixel-style bow a bit more than the regular one. As for the helmet, it fits perfectly here as well, and the figure looks absolutely awesome overall. I really like it. They've apparently fixed one of the flaws from the previous figure. See this hole where you can place the minifigure? It actually looks like the character is riding the horse here. The previous build didn't have this. The minifigure was just placed on top. Once again, the plastic here feels very nice. I keep noticing that Chinese manufacturers are improving plastic quality more and more. If they put just a little more work into the prints, this set would be absolutely perfect. But even as it is, it's wonderful and very playable. Moving on, and next up we have a llama. It's assembled quite easily, though I did have to think a little while putting it together without instructions. Anyway, I think I did everything correctly. It looks very fun and playful. I really like how these animals are made in the Minecraft collection. They're so cute, built in such a simple way, yet they look amazing. In the previous set, we also had animals. I'll insert a few shots here. Oh, I made a mistake here. The nose is supposed to be a bit longer. I forgot to add one small piece. This is how the llama's face should look, just one little stud longer. Such a funny and adorable figure. Let's move on. And here we have what I think is the Brandycraft skin. The minifigure is assembled in a standard way, nothing special. Just a good, high-quality figure. But the cart construction without instructions definitely raised some questions for me. I really slowed down while assembling it, but after giving my brain a little workout, I managed to figure it out. This is the cart we end up with, and this is the minifigure that you can seat inside the cart. Or not, if you want. I also want to note that the printing quality in this set is clearly better. The prints sit much more cleanly, without any blobs or smudges. Moving on, let's take a look at this donkey. I saw this figure in the set photos when I was buying it, and I instantly liked it. I was genuinely excited to build it, because it looked really cute and fun in the preview images. But while putting it together, I quickly realized that it's not just cute in photos, it's just as cute in real life. This is probably one of my favorite figures in the entire set, even though it's very simple. What do you think? All my little friends say the most epic figure is the one with the red horse and the skeleton. The next figure is funny. They dedicated an entire little bag just for it. This is the slime. There's really nothing to review here, and structurally there's nothing to discuss. Let's move on, and we have... Who is this? A fish. Yes, it's a pufferfish, also known as a fugu fish. I really struggled to figure out how it was supposed to be assembled. At first I started building it the wrong way, but after thinking it through, I finally understood how the figure was meant to be assembled. Putting everything together without instructions is extremely inconvenient. I really hope that if you buy a set like this, it comes with instructions. Otherwise, you'll have to struggle a bit. By the way, speaking of buying this set, getting it was very difficult. Alright, let's keep going. And here we have the glow squid. The construction is elementary and very simple. I assembled it quite easily, even without instructions. Everything was intuitive right away. The plastic quality is pretty good. And here we have yet another creeper, this time a red explosive one. Let's compare it with our previous creepers. You can see a bit more plastic overflow on the sides. It's very strange that the plastic here looks a bit less high quality. Maybe they had some leftover plastic from an older production batch. I don't know. And moving on, next up we have this flying ray, the Phantom. The construction is very basic. Everything assembles easily. There's no wobble, nothing feels loose, all the movable parts fit tightly. I quite like it. Moving on, let's take a look at the Scarecrow. It's easy to assemble. Once again, I have no complaints about the plastic or the print. The print is perfectly centered. It's a simple, straightforward figure. Great for playing and a nice addition to your collection. Let's keep going, and next up we have the Nether Adventurer. By the way, this one has printing on both the front and the back, which is really nice. I wanted to say that the prints here are simple, but honestly that's exactly how Minecraft figures are supposed to be. The netherite helmet is pretty cool. On previous figures, the helmet construction was always different. This one fits perfectly and sits snugly on the head. Overall, I really like it, and this figure comes fully equipped. It also includes a netherite sword and a warped fungus on a stick. We assemble everything and place items in both hands. I like it. It's an excellent minifigure, very playable, with bright, pleasant colors and great plastic quality. This figure gets a solid thumbs up. Moving on, we have a small animal here. What is it? Either a squirrel or a fox. Such a tiny, adorable little thing. In the previous review, we also had a similar animal. It was an Ocelot. This new one is even smaller and just as cute. I really like these small animals. And now we're assembling a chick, or a chicken. I assume it's a chick because it's so small. By the way, did you know that chicks are actually yellow in real life, and this one looks more like a duckling? Either way, it's super tiny and extremely adorable. Give a like to this cuteness. Moving on, and now we're assembling a piglin. Unfortunately, the print is only on one side, even though this figure really feels like it should have printing on both sides. This is the kind of pig head he has. It's a simple figure, nothing particularly special. The one-sided print is a downside, but otherwise it's a great, very playable figure. Let's keep going, and next up we have a goat. I had to struggle a bit to figure out how to assemble it. Thank goodness I eventually figured it out. The result is such a cute little figure. It's actually a good thing that the prints didn't shift here, because with such small details, everything really needs to be perfectly in place. If the prints were off or smudged, the figure would be completely ruined. And next we have a tiny cow. It's the same size as the pig, tiny and very cute. And next we have a drowned zombie with this interesting curved sword, more like a saber. It also comes with a pickaxe. We already had other zombies in the previous set. I'll insert some clips here. Moving on, and here we have the Mooshroom. This one is already a big figure. Assembling it without instructions was very inconvenient because the pieces have to be placed in a very specific order to create this spotted pattern on the cow. I had to look at a lot of photos of the finished build, but I think I managed more or less. This is the cow I ended up with. Next up we have a polar bear. Great face. Apparently this bear can also rear up on its hind legs, just like the horses, which is pretty fun. It ended up being a surprisingly cute, yet slightly intimidating bear. Let's keep going. There are very few pieces here. What is this even supposed to be? Oh, it's a bee. So cute. Absolutely adorable. There's something incredibly charming about these tiny figures. And finally, here it is. The thing I was waiting for so much. A tiny rabbit. But don't be fooled. As we can clearly see, this is actually a killer rabbit with red eyes. So much for cuteness. I kind of want to hang it on my keys as a keychain. It's really cool. Alright, moving on. And once again, we have a Piglin. We had similar armor in the previous set. Back then, the plastic was low quality. And unfortunately, here we have exactly the same poor quality plastic on the armor. The figure itself feels high quality, but the chest armor is awful. Exactly the same as in the previous set. That's a downside. For some reason, the plastic here is just not very good. So this is the collection we ended up with. Write in the comments which of these characters you liked the most. Maybe you liked one of the characters from the previous, first set more. Leave a like and subscribe to Guide Blocks. And be sure to check out the next video that's recommended to you. It's interesting. See you next time. Bye.